Okay, I'm gonna make a pineapple block with this little frog. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm going to, he's cut to 2.5 inches square. That's how it starts. It says you cut a 2.5 inch square. So I've used the frog as my center block. Then I've cut a bunch of other strips. So you can see I have all my strips cut. They're 1 3/4 inch strips to do the rest of the pineapple block. So I'm going to start my block. I'm going to pause this video for a second and get my machine going, and I'll show you how the block goes together a little at a time. Okay, now I've gone through and I've sewn all the other 4 pieces. So you can see. I'm gonna make some more light over here. I think it's easier. If you see, I've sewn, I start and I do the top and the bottom first, and then I fold them over, and then I do the 2 side pieces. And now I'm gonna take it to the iron and iron it really good. The next part of this is taking your ruler and gotta face it in the right direction so you can cut it. You're gonna start off with, this one says, if you read it, it says block round 1. You'll see a round 1 on it. That's the white square. That's the first one you'll start with. And then you're gonna take your cutter. Let's go back. You're gonna take your cutter and go around. And then you're going to turn it to the next side. And cut. So you're going to go all the way around this block, keeping that white square in the middle. And this is just round 1. And there's the center of the block. He's cute. He's cute. Now for round 2, you're going to cut yourself some strips. And I always go outside the edge of the square. I'm going to cut 4 more strips. So you make sure you have plenty of material to work with. For some reason it just doesn't look right. I'm going to cut it off. I don't think it was cut straight. Always make sure all your pieces are cut straight. Okay, I've cut 4 more pieces. And then we're going to start, we're going to sew the pieces on to this part of the block. Okay, I'm sewing the last of the 4 strips to the outside of round 2. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I have the camera on the other side. And then we will go to the iron. I finger press them all, just so that you can see what I'm doing. Now we're back over here using the template. You got to find round 2. Round 2 is this square right here. It says round 2 on it. We're going to take round 2 square and we're going to center it around the frog. I need to get my cord out of the way before I cut that. And then we're going to cut it. Make sure you're using the round 2 one. You gotta always center it with that round that you're doing. So this is round 2. It's pretty simple once you get used to the ruler, and pretty easy to make these blocks. And it's a cute little pineapple block. Soon we will have it done. I said it came out cute. Now we gotta add the next row, which is the darker green color. And we gotta cut out 4 fabrics. So what we do is we cut out 4 strips. Let's move the ruler out of the way. Oops. We're going to cut out 4 strips. Take off the end. Cut 4 strips. Similar length. You gotta just make sure that they're all bigger than so you have room to work. Just make sure it's bigger than the actual, and it comes out far enough. Okay, now we're on round 3. Round 3 with the ruler is along this edge. There's 3 numbers, if you can see them on the edge. 3, 5, and 7 are all done with this edge. And how you actually do it is you line up the edge, and you can see what I'm doing here. Line up the edge with this center part, which is the one before it. Then you're going to cut along the edge. So you're going to make sure that you're using that white line, and it's on the edge of that corner. And I've got one more side to cut. That's round 3. And the block is getting bigger. There we go. Now we'll cut more strips to go around the edge. And cut that off. We won't use that. Just make them all a little bigger than the outside so you have stuff to work with. Okay, there's my 4 strips for the next block. Okay, I've sewn all the fabric that I cut all the way around. And now we'll go back to the ruler, and we got to find, I said round 4, which round 4, if you can see it, I don't know if the camera will focus. You can see round 4 right there on the bottom. So we're going to take the round 4, and we're going to put round 4 square in the center of the frog, and cut along the edge and go all the way around. more fabric. We gotta cut 4 more pieces. As long as this is, I go out to here, because you gotta go out to the edge of the block. So 4 more pieces. The pieces get longer as the block gets bigger. I think that one's big enough. Let's get another piece. We need a different piece. Okay, so we can take and use that. Okay, we got our 4 pieces to sew on now. Let me pause it again. The block is getting bigger. Now we're going to take the ruler. We're on number 5, which, like I said 5, 3, 5, and 7 is on that edge. So we line it up with the next. I'm going to turn it so I can cut it better. We line it up with this. It's that back row. I'm going to cut it. See, line it up with this previous row and cut it. Line it up with the previous row and cut it. The block is almost big enough. I'm going to use this block to make a rope ball. That's why I'm making it. I'm going to make a cute rope ball with this block. Eventually I'll round it so it's rounded, because I don't really want to do a square ball. But that's what I'm going to use this little block for. It actually might be big enough now to do a round rope ball, so I might stop it here. You can add the next 2 sections to make a bigger pineapple block, but I think it's cute just this size to be the center of my pineapple, of my rope ball. And that's how you do a pineapple block. You can make it as big as you want. You just got to keep adding sections. Now, this ruler right here is for the 6-inch, 8-inch, and 10-inch blocks. So you can make them up to 10 inches with this ruler. I also have another ruler that does up to a 12-inch block. There'd be another block on here. I think it does 8, 10, and 12. So I have both rulers, which is nice. And I use a lot of the small blocks for other things. And they're really cute on rope balls. But that's the little froggy block that we're going to do. And I'll make a video when I do the rope ball and show you how I add it to my rope ball. So that's my video for today, showing you how to make that little cute froggy ball. Froggy ball. Froggy pinwheel block. And we'll have fun putting it on the bowl. That'll be the next video. Hope you have fun and make one yourself. Okay, now just to get this rounded, this is my pineapple block that I made. And I need to round it to fit in the center of my round rope ball. So I have this little template that I use to round it. You can use anything to round it, like even a plate, a dinner plate or something. Anything you can find that's round to actually go around the quilt. This little ruler comes in handy though, because it's got a bunch of different round sizes for different things. And I like this little ruler. It makes life so much easier. And there we go. So we've got the little rounded block for the... Okay, and I'm going to flip the camera over here so you can see that I've done the rope ball center over here. And now I'm going to pause it and see how I'm going to glue it with glue stick. I use Scott permanent glue sticks when I do mine. I think the permanent glue sticks hold it better and it won't come off later or pucker and do all kinds of weird stuff because I put a bunch of glue on the back of it. Then I zigzag it with some stitches afterwards. So let me get this started and I'll continue the video. I put a good amount of permanent glue stick on the back. And now we're going to glue it. Try to center it good. And make sure you get all the edges good enough. Sometimes you miss them. And I go back around and I touch them up. To make sure they're all glued. That way you don't have problems later with it lifting and puckering. So I always just make sure I have it good and glued. I think my glue stick's about gone. I see the green showing. We have more where that came from, and I had ordered some more. Okay, these all just look like they need to be touched up a little. We have enough to finish this at least. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some fancy stitches in the middle of it. That needs a little more glue. Guess I need another glue stick. Let's try this one. Oops, sorry I wiggled the camera. The piece just doesn't want to stay down. Okay, that looks good. Okay, we're going to let it dry for a few minutes because I don't want to put it in my machine because it's got a lot of glue in it. So we're going to let it pause this and let it dry for a few minutes, and then we're going to do some fancy stitches on it before we finish the bowl.